On a couple of them because this would take forever for all of these.
For Ostara, right?
Yeah. There's a lot more than just this also. Aphrodite is a Greek goddess of love and war. She is the daughter of the sea. She rules...
Don't go so fast. Okay, love and war, go ahead.
She doesn't need you to write this down, just listen. Okay?
Just write these down.
Just write the names down. She's just going to tell you a little bit of information right now. Just write them down. You don't need to write what she's saying.
Multitask.
She rules marriages and the love within them, but she also is the goddess of illicit affairs. She is also associated with war and battles. She teaches dedication and love of self and is known for her quick and sometimes unscrupulous responses to petitions. Her symbols are ocean, doves, apples, roses, and the mirror. Eostra is the goddess of spring to the Saxon and Germanic tribes. She is usually seen as an adolescent girl or a buxom young woman that represents the beginning of the spring season and the ripeness found within. Her name is derived from Easter, which is an ancient word for spring. The Christian holiday Easter is actually named for her festival, where she is honored as a fertility goddess with painted eggs and sweet foods. Flora, spring goddess of Rome, the goddess of flowers and springtime. Flora is celebrated throughout April and early May with dancing, singing, and drinking. She rules flowering plants and fruits and protects vegetation from disease and rot. She is the handmaiden of Ceres and helps girls into womanhood.
Well, and she's not my friend.
Gods. Adonis. Ancient Semitic god. Celebration of his death and resurrection were at the spring equinox. He's the god of rebirth and season, love and beauty. Dagda. He is the All-Father. He is the god of rebirth and death. He had a living harp which caused the seasons to change in order. And then some stuff about Ostara. The symbols are like eggs, new moon, butterflies and cocoons. Colors are pink, yellow, grass green, robin's egg blue, all pastels. Animals are rabbits and snakes. The meaning of Ostara is balance, new life, rebirth, end of winter, light overtaking darkness. Ostara was a very important Sabbath in Greece, Rome, Nordic, and Germanic lands. It is these traditions that most of our current customs come from. Early churches could not eradicate this festival, so they assigned St. Patrick his feast day near the time of the equinox. St. Patrick was said to have arrived at Tara after being ran out of Ireland to present his new faith to the High King on Easter Day, which also falls close to Ostara and celebrates another resurrection of the deity. The belief of the rabbit delivering the eggs comes from the legend of the goddess Eostra, who loved the decorated eggs the rabbit gave Yeah, I misplaced
The
something.
rabbit gave, and that was it.
Rabbit egg.
Okay, apparently, the decorated eggs the rabbit gave her. Oh, okay, I figured it out. That she wished all of humankind could see them and share in her joy. So the rabbit, in trying to please her, went throughout the world and distributed them, hence the Easter Bunny. Ostara is not only a time of balance, but one where light becomes triumphant over darkness as the wheel of the year continues on to Beltane. Okay. And now I have a meditation to get us ready for Ostara. So we have a lighter.
How many people smoking here?
Oh, there it is. I have a
That's
lighter.
Everybody's going through their pockets.
Right?
It took us 8 stores to find those candles.
Only because I kept going to like Walmart and stuff. I should have just went to Michael's in the first.
Yeah. And they're the last ones there.
Really?
I was with you.
Not you. Somebody blew the candle out.
Gee, I'm
Right,
gonna
knock
get
off.
So I said,
It
really?
wasn't you this time, Kevin.
He usually does screw with you.
He likes
Even
to
when you're
screw.
blood.
It's funny.
He's pull her hair.
So what incense are you using?
Lilac.
Lilac?
Hopefully nobody's allergic.
No, I looked, and if you're allergic to lilac, you do not put it on the paper.
Frog, rather.
Is that the radio or like real frog?
Real frogs.
No, it's real frogs.
I can't.
Pretty much 10 feet
I
back
like
is
it.
all
It's
marsh.
like
Yeah, it's just gonna be incense, but never mind, the incense burned out, who knows.
Pretty much, Joe. 10 feet back
You
from this
keep
is
burning
marsh
yourself with the lighter.
right now.
Don't
You
you
want
have
me to
that
light
bitch
it?
you
I don't
can
have
use?
nails.
Sure.
I don't know.
Here comes the flame.
Bakes don't get nearly as hot as those kind do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, that incense smells good.
I don't think the other one would.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
not
they're incense. Oh, get it. Get it, military boy.
I know they taught you to light a fire. They just took you on a mountain for 3 days with nothing but a tent and a canvas. I'm pretty sure you stayed warm.
I don't know what you like something.
I didn't blow out all the candles. Oh, there you go. Fine.
I have a lavender one and you can get this one.
Hey, Celina, where'd you get your book? Where'd you get your book? Okay, so there's gonna be a couple pauses, and this is like where you guys are supposed to reflect on what I just read, and it's not very long. Relax and get comfortable. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. It is a beautiful spring morning. The air is almost balmy. There is still a bit of a chill against your skin, but you know that warm weather is on its way. Today is Ostara, the vernal equinox. You are standing outside a white wooden house. The house is bordered with flowers, daffodil, irises, tulips, and the last of the crocus. It isn't quite time for the lilacs to bloom yet, though you can see young buds on the tree. Look up. The sky overhead is brilliant blue. The gleam of the sun against the sky reminds you of a mirror, polished in the color of robin's eggs. There are no clouds right now, though you know they can bank up at any time. Sudden rainstorms are not uncommon this time of year. Today you have decided to go on a spring treasure hunt to see what has wakened to life in the past 6 weeks since Imbolc. You have a basket with you and a walking stick. And since the weather is so changeable at this time of year, you decide to wear a light windbreaker and a pair of rubber boots. The meadow in back of the house stretches far afield, down to a copse of trees before which runs a silver brook. As you prepare to make your way through the meadow, you notice the sky shimmer as if gleaming waves are folding in on themselves. The air around you glitters for a moment and you blink. When you open your eyes, you are still facing the meadow, and the house is still behind you. But now there is a subtle difference. Everything seems more vivid and brilliant than it did. Take a brief moment to let your eyes adjust to the change. Now slowly wind your way through the meadow. The grass brushes against your knees, it tickles, and you notice that not all of the dew has evaporated yet. As you meander along, a movement in a thick patch of nearby thistles alert you. It is a large rabbit, a brown hare, and it hops out of the grass and across your path. It stops to look at you with the most beautiful blue eyes you've ever seen. And for a moment you think it is going to speak, but it hops off in a different direction and soon is gone. You can see a pile of droppings where it paused, and there is something shining among the rabbit pebbles. It is a pearl, a perfect and luminous pearl. Pick it up and polish it carefully on your pants. The pearl is almost as large as your thumbnail, and it reverberates a gentle hum emitting from the jewel. As you listen, a warm, drowsy feeling begins to tingle from the bottom of your feet, and it works its way up, spreading through your body. When the wave reaches the top of your head, it fountains out and showers you with a soothing rain of tranquility. Pause for a moment and listen to the peace cloaking you. After a moment, put the pearl in your basket and one of the small sacks that you keep there. Continue along towards the creek. It is a shallow brook, running swiftly along as it babbles to itself and to anyone who will listen. You are warm from your walk, so you put down your basket and sit on the grass next to the shore. Dip your hand in the clear water and bring it up to your lips. The water is icy, cold, and sweet. As you take another drink, high-pitched laughter echoes from the creek. You stop, listen again, and the laughter continues. As you look around to discover its source, a being rises from the stream. It is a woman, formed of the water itself. Her skin is translucent, glistening with a shimmer of aquamarine. She throws her head back and laughs again. You realize immediately that it is a naiad, one of the water spirits that inhabits grottos and small wild streams. She cocks her head playfully and points to the other shore where a large bullfrog sits. "Kiss the frog," she says. You look at her as to see if she's joking, but she shakes her head and once again says, "Kiss the frog." When you start to ask her why, she merely laughs and sinks back down into the water, rippling away with the current. The frog is looking at you with a bemused expression. and as you hesitantly stand and pick up your basket, it hops on top of a nearby stone and waits. You cross the stream, carefully balancing on a thin log that stretches from one side to the other, and kneel down by the frog. It blinks once, and its cheeks puff out as it lets go with a loud croak. Feeling perhaps a little foolish, perhaps a little nervous, you lean down and lightly kiss the head of the frog between its ice-colored eyes. The frog stares at you for a silent moment, and then opens its mouth and spits out a small grain stone that lands at your feet. Then it hops off the rock and disappears among the reeds along the shore. Pick up the stone. It is heavy in your hand, and a shiver of energy races out of the stone to coil around the base of your spine. It curls around your vertebrae, inching upwards one by one. See it loop around and through each chakra, cleansing them with a trail of sparkling light. As the energy reaches your crown chakra on top of your head, it discharges into the air, carrying all of the static and stagnant energy with it. You feel lighter. The trail of light has swept up all the old cobwebs of negativity in your aura and releases them. Put the rock in another small bag in your basket and continue over to the copse of trees. The birch and alder are just beginning to bud. Small knots of green cover the branches, distinct against the brilliant white bark of their trunks. A loud chirping startles you, and as you look up, you see a robin sitting on a nest. A young kitten has gotten itself stuck in the tree, and now the bird and kitten are facing off. The nest is not very high, so you set down your basket and climb the tree. The kitten, more interested in safely getting out of the tree than in eating the bird, lets you put her in your pocket. The robin looks at you warily, but then she moves and you see that she is sitting on a clutch of sky blue eggs. There's another egg in the nest, however. It is crystal and the color of azure sea, and the robin pushes it with her beak towards you, cautiously lifting the egg out of the nest and put it in another pocket. The robin settles back in her nest as you carefully descend from the tree. The kitten seems content to sit in your pocket. Indeed, she's purring, so you leave her there as you take the egg out to look at it. The egg is made of blue crystal, and it looks like it could open. There is a seam running down one side of it, but you can't find the latch, and so you wrap it and put it in your basket. With the kitten snoring gently in your pocket, you return to the path and follow it deeper into the forest. The path leads through the trees past a wide swath of ferns whose fronds are still curled tightly, before it opens out into a small clearing. In the center of the clearing, on a lush mound of grass, sits a young woman. She has hair the color of spun gold, and her skin gleams pale ivory. When she looks at you, her eyes are those of the hare and the frog. They are the color of the robin's egg and the sky, of the robin's egg in the sky. And you realize that you are facing Eostra, the Saxon goddess of spring. She is clothed in a shimmering dress of glittering pastel veils. When she stands, her feet barely touch the ground, and it is as if a thin layer of air separates Eostra from the grass. Animals surround her, hares and lapwings, lambs and young calves, contently chewing the grass at her feet. Eostra smiles and bids you welcome. It is planting time, she says. It is time to germinate the seeds for the coming season of growth. Come into my garden and plant what you will. You walk over to her as she motions you in. She leads you to the back of the meadow where a large plot of tilled earth sits waiting. The smell of the soil pulls you down on your knees. It is rich and musty, sour and fertile, and you run your hands deeply through the finely turned dirt. It clumps in your hand, and you bring it to your nose and inhale deeply. The scent rushes past like a gust of wind, with the promise of growth and fertility, just below the surface. Eostra watches you, amused. She kneels down and picks up a handful of soil. This is the secret of life, she whispers. Without this, there would be no world as we know it. We take from the soil, we go back to the soil. It is part of the everlasting cycle of life. Today is the vernal equinox, the balance of light and dark. Only when we are balanced and centered can our growth be steady and productive. She looks into your basket and points to the crystal egg. It is said that you can balance an egg on its smallest end during the exact moment of the equinox. Try it. Pick up the egg and try to balance it on its smallest point. The first time it falls over, and the second, but the third time it stays balanced. Eostra gives a cry of delight as the egg opens on the scene. As you pick it up, you see a seed hidden within. It falls into your hand. This seed represents a project that is near and dear to you, the young goddess says. It is something you would like to see grow and flourish as the world grows and flourishes. Think carefully on what that project might be as you hold the seed in your hand. Do as she asks. Hold the seed in the palm of your hand while you think about the project that is most important to you right now. See it grow, see it flourish, see yourself accomplishing those tasks that lead to a successful harvest. Take a moment to visualize this. When you have projected your vision into the seed, the goddess Eostra says, now you may plant your seed in my garden, where with the proper weeding and watering it will grow to great heights so that your harvest might be a success. She shows you a corner of the garden. Plant your seed now and think of what it will take to water and feed it during its fragile germination time. Think of the steps you can take to ensure its health and well-being. After you have planted the seed, Eostra helps you to your feet. Go now, she says, but remember, the seed you have planted this day it is up to you to nourish it through its tender youth. The treasures you have found in your basket you may keep, tokens to remind you of what spring represents, cleansing and peace, innocence and growth. She points to the kitten. I will take the young cat, for all young ones are under my watchful eye. You give her the kitten, who immediately curls up in Eostra's arms and falls asleep again. Now peace be with you in the coming season, for with all the activity, you will need a quiet space in which to relax. She walks you to the edge of the clearing and waves as you enter the forest. With one last look at Eostra and her menagerie, you begin the return journey through the birch and alder trees. You pass back past the ferns, then once again come to the brook, where you may take another drink of water if you like. After you cross the log, re-enter the meadow, and soon you see your little white house up ahead. As you look down at the basket hanging over your arm, you are surprised to find it filled with daffodils and tulips. The 3 treasures you found on your journey are nestled among the blossoms. Now listen to my voice. As I count from 10 to 1, you will take 10 steps back to full consciousness. 10, 9, 8. You will be fully refreshed and alert. 7, 6. You are beginning to wake. 5, 4. Your eyes are starting to flutter. 3, 2. You will feel awake and aware. 1. Take 3 deep breaths, and when you are ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Celina. For that wonderful meditation. Everybody, eyeballs awake.
I didn't hear any snoring. So
Right? We didn't hear you snoring.
obviously, everybody was doing it.
Right. It's all good.